It was not me saying, this is over, I'm done.
Ever since Christine left, everyone's been questioning Kody's other marriages. He's clearly never going to leave Robin. But what about Meri and Janelle? Well, it looks like Kody might actually be leaving them pretty soon, and that is if he hasn't done it already. Guys, you'll never believe the truth about Kody leaving Meri and Janelle. So Kody has always said that he would never leave any of the wives, and that the only way his marriages would ever end is if, they left him. And that's exactly what happened with him and Christine. She left him. So we all assumed that if anything like this was going to happen again, it would be because either Meri or Janelle decided to leave Kody. And we all know that Robin and Kody are the only real relationship at this point. So what is the point of Meri and Janelle staying? The thing is that, it now looks like Kody might have gone back on his word, because there have been a lot of signs pointing towards Kody leaving Meri and Janelle. And even though he said that he would never do that, and one of the biggest hints that this might already be happening is that Kody and Robin recently got a new LLC, and this new LLC is called Dabsark Entertainment. Dabsark, which stands for Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, Ari, Robin, and Kody. And basically this new LLC is just for the two of them, and their kids, Meri, Janelle, and the other kids are not included in it. And obviously this LLC is for them to receive payments from TLC. It has the word entertainment in the name, so what else could it be for? And it's clearly how they get paid for doing the show, and that's what makes me think that Kody might not be with Janelle and Meri anymore, since if they were still together, then they'd have an LLC for all four of them. And they're supposed to be one big family, so I just don't get why Kody and Robin would want to get paid separately if it was still the case, which just makes me think that something's happened. Either Kody's already left them or he's about to, and it'd be interesting to see if Janelle and Meri got new LLCs too. I personally couldn't find anything, and it's possible that they're considered sole proprietorships if they're each receiving payments for themselves and no one else, so it's hard to say. But either way, it's weird that Kody and Robin have cut themselves off from the rest of the family and are now getting paid into a separate LLC, but that's not the only reason why I think Kody might be leaving Meri and Janelle. Another massive clue is that he's already said that polygamy might not actually be for him after all, and during last season's tell-all, he said that he questioned the lifestyle all the time, and he said that ever since Christine left, things have been really challenging, and he's been really wondering if polygamy was actually right for him, and he was clearly feeling conflicted about the whole lifestyle, and it seemed like he wasn't all that into it anymore, which has been pretty clear for a while now anyway, and he didn't even have to say it. I think we can all agree that it's been super obvious for ages now that he's only really invested in his relationship with Robin, and this was even confirmed by Peyton, who referred to Robin as Kody's soulmate a few months ago, which feels like a pretty huge statement. And I mean, Robin isn't Kody's only wife, so to say that, she is his soulmate just seems super disrespectful to Meri and Janelle. But Peyton said that Kody seemed to have found the woman that he truly loved, and there was nothing more to be said about that. And Robin also referred to Kody as her soulmate, even though this was a while ago when they first got married. I just think it's really telling that Peyton is actually comfortable saying all this. I mean, maybe he knows something we don't, but otherwise, I doubt he'd be this disrespectful to Meri and Janelle. But if Kody isn't with either of them anymore, then he's not really being disrespectful, right? And I think it's genuinely possible that they're not together anymore. Even looking at some of the stuff Meri and Janelle have done and said recently, Janelle has literally been living with her son at his house this summer instead of on Coyote Pass, and she said that it was because of Savannah, but I think it could just as easily be that she's not with Kody anymore, and she only said that it was because of Savannah because she's not allowed to talk about it yet. And I mean, if this whole thing is actually true and Kody isn't with either of them anymore, then obviously they'd want to keep that secret until this new season finally airs. So Janelle couldn't, actually say anything, but there has to be a reason why she didn't spend the summer on Coyote Pass. Another massive clue that something has been going on with these marriages is that Janelle is clearly still best friends with Christine, and they seem to constantly be doing stuff together, and I just think that says a lot. And it seems to me that it would be extremely disrespectful for Janelle to side with Christine over her actual husband. Even though Janelle and Christine have gotten really close, I still think she wouldn't want to disrespect Kody like this. And I wouldn't necessarily expect her to stop talking to Christine completely, but these two have been hanging out all the time, which is especially crazy considering how intense and heated Christine and Kody's split was after her interview with People, and after what we've seen from the promos this season, this was clearly not an amicable split, and it just seems like Janelle hanging out with Christine would be a betrayal to Kody if she was still with him, which is why I think she might not be with him anymore. And Meri has also said and done some pretty interesting things. I mean, the biggest one was that Instagram picture that she posted the other day, and it was a photo of her holding a leather journal in front of her face, and the caption said that there was so much more to the story. And it's not really clear what she was referring to, but it could be that she has been working on some sort of a book, and since she was holding that journal in the photo, but her saying that there was more to the story is definitely interesting, especially since she said this so close to the new season. I just feel like we might be getting some huge revelations pretty soon, and I think that it could be something about the marriages being over for good. And I mean, there was also that weird promo for this season that we got that was questioning if they were still sister wives or not, and it could be that, they were just talking about Christine, but I think there might be more to the story, just like Meri said. And honestly, at this point, I just don't see Kody sticking around for much longer. He's only really interested in Robin anyway, and everyone knows this, and Peyton literally said it, and Christine mentioned how she hated that she wasn't an equal wife, so at this point, Meri and Janelle have to know too. I mean, it will be interesting to see if Kody actually does it and leaves Janelle and Meri. I mean, I think they won't be leaving him, and at least Meri definitely won't. I mean, we know that. So if he wants to just be with Robin and be in a monogamous marriage, then he might have to leave them himself. And even though he said that he would never do that, but at this point, I just don't know why he would want to stick around, since he's clearly over the whole thing and doesn't care about his other wives. But what do you guys think? Do you think Kody might leave Meri and Janelle, or do you think he's already done it? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, like always, do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.